This is the House of Hockey podcast on the Hockey Podcast Network. Hockey is more than a game, it's a lifestyle. It's you, the diehard supportive fans, your favorite players who are on the team you cheer for, and the organization who supports them.
The companies that make your gear, bags, and beer league sweaters. The hockey moms and hockey dads, and everything else that makes this House of Hockey your home. Come on in. I'm Breezy.
And I'm Rae Rae.
And this is our house. Everyone's favorite time of year is right around the corner, college football season. To celebrate, Draftkings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook app, is putting new players in the center of action with $200 in free bets instantly if you bet $1 or more on college football games. Take advantage of this limited time offer now. You heard it right. DraftKings is giving new players $200 in free bets instantly when you place a bet of $1 or more on any college football game, no matter what. Head to DraftKings Sportsbook app now and check out all of the great promotions and daily odd boosts that they are offering. DraftKings Sportsbook is safe, secure, and reliable, and they're located right here in the United States, so it's easy to deposit and withdraw your money at your convenience. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use promo code THPN, that's THPN, to receive $200 in free bets when you place a $1 bet on any college football game. That's code THPN to get your free $200 in free bets instantly, only for a limited time at DraftKings Sportsbook. Must be 21 years or older, New Jersey, Indiana, and Pennsylvania only. New customers only. Restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER, or in Indiana, call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
Welcome to the House of Hockey podcast, episode 75. I'm one of your hosts, Rae Rae.
And I'm your other host, Breezy. I can't even talk today. It's like early.
I know. I'm back home, back from Vegas. Vegas was great.
Wild.
Work was great. All the work stuff was awesome. Huge success.
Perfect.
I'm still a little tired. I thought I saw Evander Kane because everybody had to wear masks in Vegas, right? Inside.
Yeah.
And it was a little hard to tell. And I wasn't going to just, go up to him and then it not be, and then, whatever. And then that night, Evander Kane had posted a picture of him at like a restaurant with a emoji, like maybe he was in Vegas, maybe it was him. And then I had a dream that night that it was him. And I was like, I knew it. This is why you shouldn't be playing anymore. You're in Vegas. You've got a gambling problem. We gave you the hotline. You're not following any of our help. What are we supposed to do with you?
Oh boy. Well,
yeah.
That's crazy. I ran into a former Bachelor guy in Vegas one time, and it was really weird. It was like, do you watch The Bachelor at all?
No.
Okay, well, for anybody who is listening, I ran into Ben Higgins, and he was like there with like a bunch of other people, and I was like, that's Ben. And I'm looking at him, staring at him, and then I didn't like go up to say hi, but like he was like right there in front of me, and I was just like, Like, what do you even say? Like, he's not a celebrity, but I was just like starstruck. I was like, that's Ben. It was so cool. But yeah, I didn't say anything to him. But it's
cool.
all good.
I met another celebrity. I did meet a celebrity. I met two celebrities in Vegas.
Oh, two.
So I met Steve Madden.
Oh.
The shoe designer.
Okay.
He actually hand-picked out the shoes I bought at the store.
Wow.
How crazy is that?
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. I was like, I only brought one pair of heels. They could see my feet and my shoes on camera. And that's not always the case in some of the hosting things I do. And so I was like, I really need another pair of shoes. I can't wear the same shoes. People are going to be like, oh, she's wearing the same shoes. But nobody really gives a fuck. But anyway, I do. So I went to the Steve Madden store in the Venetian because I was like, I had just listened to him on Bethany Frankel's podcast. And I thought, Well, he makes great shoes. I know I'll be able to find a pair of like black heels and they'll fit and it'll be fine. And I walked in and I was hemming and hawing. Do I get the pink version or the black version? And the sales clerk just turns to this gentleman and is like, Steve, what do you think? She can't decide between the shoes. And I just looked at him and I was like, what do you think? And he was like, oh, the pink are really fun, but the black are classic. And I was like, I know. And then he walked away and I was like stuck in my brain of like, which shoes do I buy?
Yeah.
And I was like, wait a second. Is that the Steve Madden? Like Steve Madden? And she was like, yeah. What the hell is he doing here? He was there for a big convention for like the clothing and shoe industry. And she's like, yeah, he comes once a year and then he always stops by the store. And then I was like, oh, cool. So I walked up to him and I said, hey, I listened to you on the podcast with Bethany. And, you know, it was really wonderful to hear your story. Thanks for, you know, sharing your vulnerability about, you know, he's a long story, but he shared a lot of personal things. Yeah. And he was like, oh, thanks. Yeah, I'm all out of things to tell now. I was like, well, I just wanted to say, you know, it was great to listen to it. And that's what brought me in the store because I remembered hearing you. And he was like, cool. So then he walks back by and he's like, mind you, I'm still standing in one pair of hot pink and one pair of black shoes, standing there talking to him. And he's like, get the black. And I was like, okay, I'm getting the black. So when Steve Madden personally picks out your shoes, you just do what the man says, you know?
Yeah, you got to do it. Got to do it.
Yeah,
well, that's cool.
So yeah, that was that. I feel like I've been talking a lot. I've got another story, but I feel like let's talk a little hockey and then I'll save the other story for later.
But you said you met two celebrities and one of them was Steve. Who was the other one?
So the other one, okay, I'll tell the story. So the other one, okay, so my flight out of Vegas was 6 a.m. So I'm up at, 3:45, get to the airport. It's 4:55 in the morning. And I'm walking through the airport. Everyone's got masks on. I'm looking for my gate and like where to go. And I peruse like people. I look at people. I like to people watch a little bit. And something was like drawing my eye to the people walking the opposite direction of me. And I look up and I see this blonde girl in a mask. And I'm like, I think I know her. It's Stormy. She's like, she jumps and she's like, what? Oh, hi. Like, and she can't, it's 4:55 in the morning. We're at the airport. We're both wearing masks. And I'm like, Stormy, it's Rae Rae from the House of Hockey podcast. And she was like, oh my God, hi. And so we talked for a moment and I was, just saying hello to her and her boyfriend was with her. They were traveling to go out of town for the weekend. And I was like, I'm going home. And she's like, this is so crazy that we're like meeting here in real life. And we just chatted for a minute. And then I was like, I know it's 5 a.m. now and you both look crazy, but we have to take a picture because Breezy isn't going to believe this. And you are now the second guest of the show that I have ran into completely like unplanned, out of the norm in their natural habitat. The first being Selena Pompiani on the side of the road, and now Stormy in the middle of the Las Vegas airport. Like, what?
That is so funny. Wow.
So,
look at you.
Could you believe that?
That is crazy.
I was like, what, who next? What am I going to run into Curtis Gabriel in Toronto or something, like,
hey, you might, you just might
like getting a Chipotle, like Curtis? What?
I thought you didn't like to get the black beans.
So she's a local celebrity.
Very
local
cool.
Vegas celebrity, and I'm sure she's used to people going, Stormy, and nothing like 4:55 in the morning being accosted by a stranger at the airport,
Yeah. I could see that. I mean, I was never I'm going to say this. So I worked at my little small town got a little like outdoor mall a long, long, long time ago. And when the mall had opened, there are some great stores in there, especially for like kids. Like I'm talking like you're in like the 2006 era where like you have like the Tilly's, the PacSun, the Vans, the Journeys, the Hot Topic, like that's just there, right? So I got a job at Hot Topic and I was working there for a really long time. And people would just always come in and just hang out. And it's like that group of people, you know, and I was still in high school at the time. So like there was a lot of people who were still in like junior high and like who thought it was so cool to be friends with people who worked at like Tilly's and Journeys and Vans, you know what I mean? So whenever I would go out in public in my town and I wasn't working, I had like these people just like run up to me and say, "Oh my God, hi, how's it going?" And I'd be like, "Hi," to the point where like I would go to Warped Tour, right? And I'd have people like running over to me to say hi. And it's like, I literally work at the mall. Like, why are you being like this? And to this day, I hate going out in public in Simi, or I guess my town, which I guess I just said, but I hate going out because I'm afraid someone's gonna like come up to me and say something when like I haven't worked there for a very, very, very long time. But it's just like the most awkward thing for me because it's like I'm literally nobody. I don't put myself out there at all. Well, other than this podcast, but like, let's be real. Like, I don't, it's one of those things where it's like, it's not on national television, right?
Right.
But it's like, it's one of those things where I'm just like, I don't put myself out there. I literally worked at a mall. I was like I just sling shirts for a living. Like, what is happening? But yeah, it was always super awkward. And I would like walk out of the grocery store with like my mom and I'd have like these like 3 or 4 people who were like hanging out. They would just like come up to me like, "Hey, how's it going? You working today? I really like your shirt. Can I get it too?" And it's like, oh my God, this is not the life I want.
And now you're local famous on a podcast.
Yes, exactly. I haven't had anybody stop me, but there are some people who would follow Hunks of Hockey that didn't know that I was the one posting it. So when they found out, they're like, "Oh my God, you live in the same city I do." And I'm like, "Oh my God, yes, I do."
Don't come near me.
How ironic. I am a living human being. I do live in a city in the world. And
yeah,
that happens. That happens.
You're a real human being, Breezy, with a
I
real
am.
life.
I am. Sometimes I question it. Sometimes I pinch myself and I'm like, am I real or am I not? But then that just takes me down the rabbit hole all over again. So
yeah, and everyone knows our theories on that, the simulation, you know?
Yeah, exactly. So
yeah. Anywho. So you're a celebrity too. So you know what it feels like when people like me just yell and are like, "Hi, can I take a picture?"
Yeah, I mean, like it's weird. I had someone ask to take a picture with me one time, and I'm like, I literally work at the mall. Like, what? It was weird, right? It's weird.
It was weird. But you were their idol. You were somebody. Who knows what you were to that person? They might not have had friends, or, you know, I don't know.
That's true. That's true. I was always very friendly with them. I will say that. But it was one of those things where like I would look at my friend afterwards and be like, what is wrong? What?
I mean, I'm always floored to be in your presence, Breezy.
Oh, jeez.
I mean, we don't even have, we do have pictures together, only because I was like, we need professional pictures, Breezy.
Yeah.
I mean, I forced you to do that too. So here we are. Breezy, we have to take pictures right now. Let's go.
Let's go. I'll get on a plane.
All right.
I was like,
okay, whatever.
I was like, I don't even know where to go. I'm not a good picture taker. I'm very awkward. I'm awkward on film.
I'm like, no, you're not. You're fine. It'll be fine. Just smile. Yeah. It'll be fine.
Yeah. And I'm all, geez. Even when we do our cover shots for this podcast, I'm like, I'm smiling. And this is really awkward. That's a little bit behind the scenes for you guys. So
yeah, it's what it is. And it's funny because I didn't ask Steve Madden for a photo, but Stormy, a guest of the podcast who I've already spoken to and like know about, I'm like, we have to take a picture. Steve Madden? Nah. Real this huge person. My logic for all of that. I mean, I don't know.
That is so funny. That is so funny. I mean, if you were to run into like a player, right?
Yeah.
Would you get a picture with them?
No, I would probably be like, can you come on the podcast?
Yeah.
And that would be enough. I would probably go into work mode.
Yeah,
like more of a professional.
I thought about it. I mean, I've met some of the Kings players and like people would always take pictures. I was like, I don't need a picture with these people. Like,
right.
What's it going to prove, right? But then I was like, if I ran into Roman Yossi, would I take a picture with him?
I mean, I think you would have to because he's your favorite.
I think I would have to too. But then
for the podcast.
For the podcast, obviously.
You could be like, listen, I have this podcast and like, you're my favorite hunk. Like I have to take a pic. Can we take a picture?
Yeah.
Well, if I was there, I would make you do that.
Yeah. I think I have like it burned in everyone's minds where like I would never ask for one. Mm-hmm. So like if we were in a situation where he was there, they would like force me to do it. But the Kings released their like tickets, right?
Yeah.
So you could do like the pre-sale tickets and whatnot. And there were tickets right next to the bench for the Preds game. So I was like, I should probably buy these. But I held off for a little bit because I'm trying to like wait and see what's going to go on, you know? But there was one game I was at where someone had brought a Swiss flag and they were holding it up and he went over and he threw a puck to them. So I'm like, I need to just buy a Swiss flag.
Yep. No. You just bring your poster, your giant 5 foot tall poster.
You know what? I could do that.
And a flag.
I don't know if Staples Center will allow me to bring that in, actually.
What if you roll it up and tuck it in your pants?
Have you
tape it to your leg?
Could you imagine me having like this big, like a laminated poster? It's not even laminated. It's like that, like
vinyl,
like thick, vinyl plastic, just like taped around my leg, walking into Staples. I'm going to look like I have like a leg problem. I'm just like, nah.
Yeah, you got a limp. Yeah,
I do. I have a limp. Yeah. Not suspicious at all. Not suspicious at all.
No, I don't think so. They sneak catfish into the Preds of Bridgestone. Those people strap those things to their body. Come on, they sneak octopus into Little Caesars in Detroit.
That's
you should bring a poster in.
That is
Swiss
true.
flag too. Maybe I'll have to just order you a Swiss flag.
Yeah, Swiss flag could work.
Yeah,
could work
because you can like really fold up small. And like put it in a pocket or shove it in your bra, you know?
Yeah, I could easily get that in. So the poster on the other end, I don't know.
So funny.
It's going to look very awkward in my pant leg. I'll just say that much. Whatever. Anywho.
Those are my stories. I had good stories. It was good. It was good.
That was good. That was good. Now I have a couple questions I want to ask you.
Go for it.
Based on some recent news that had come out. So obviously Joe Thornton signed with the Panthers. Then you're laughing.
That sounds so ridiculous. Like, what are you doing at this? Like, what are you doing with your life, Joe Thornton, at this point? Like, what? Like,
it's another 1 year.
Is it still fun? Is this still? Are you still having a good time? Like, what are you doing? What are you doing?
I mean, he's going to Florida.
He's not chasing a cup.
A lot of players love going to Florida. Do you think that maybe this was just his way of getting to Florida? He wanted to check it out for a year to see if maybe he would want to retire there.
Okay, maybe.
Okay, so that's
doesn't his whole family still live in San Jose though? I mean, I don't know that, but I think
he's
got like 5 kids, and you know,
I think he has 2, but yeah,
right,
same. 2 kids, 5 kids. 2. It's all the same.
I mean, how is he going to do with Quenneville? I'm sure fine. Sure. If you have the opportunity to pick up Joe Thornton, you do, you know, and if Quenneville can use him in a good way, then yeah, that could really help out defensively for them. But does that?
I listened. I listened to the interview he did when he made his explanation on why he chose the Panthers.
What did he say? Yeah. He wants to win.
He did say he wanted to win, which I'm going to get to that subject in a second. But he said that he had talked to everybody. He felt like he'd be a great fit, all this and all that, yada, 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 the same stuff. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, but what? Like, don't get me wrong, like, he's a great player. It's just confusing to me. Like, the Panthers, of all places, I'm like, I don't know. I really don't know. But I want to stay on this winning thing because I think we're both on this, like, okay with Joe, right?
Right.
But okay.
I mean, I love the guy. It's phenomenal to see.
Yeah.
But like, what? Okay.
Yeah. So I'm going to stay on this whole winning thing. Now, right. I'm going to do this thing. So Elias Peterson, right, from the Vancouver Canucks, he's waiting on agreements from the Canucks, right? And so quote unquote, there was someone who did an interview with him in like Sweden or something. So this was translated, obviously, right? Mm-hmm. But he had said, I want to stay there in Vancouver now, but I also want to play for a team that's winning and has a chance to go far into the playoffs every year. I feel like we've got a chance to do that next year if we have that chance when my next deal expires. I don't know. I just want to play where there's a chance of winning. Now, he is supposed to be the all-star, the name. He's like the guy, right, for the Canucks. Maybe not the guy, but he's supposed to be one of the guys for the Canucks, right? Mm-hmm. Isn't the point of playing a professional sport is to win, right? That is the point. Now, you are on a team that is supposed to be building to win. You are a piece of that puzzle to win. Now, you yourself, you're a part of that team. We all know there's no I in hockey, right? Mm-hmm. So are you saying that you want to win like every other player wants to win? So you want to be on a team that's going to win, but yet are you just going to abandon all ships knowing that you are supposed to be one of those puzzle pieces to win? You got to start with the problem, and the problem could be you. Now you're just wanting to abandon the Canucks to go where? Who's going to win? I mean, we all can see that any team could win. Any team has a chance to go to the playoffs. Yep. Do you want to go to Boston? Well, they're not going to sign you for the amount of money that you want. Do you want to go to Tampa? They're not going to sign you for the amount of money you want. You got to stick with the team that's going to pay you where you have a role, because you have a responsibility for that team, for the city, for the league, for the organization, for everything. I'm just like, what?
I know.
What is with all these players wanting to just go to a team that's going to win? You are supposed to help your team win. That is the point of playing professionally. And I'm just all hot and bothered over it.
I like seeing you get all like shut the front door on this because it's true. It's ridiculous. I agree with you 100%. It's like,
it's really bothering to know that, like, yes, you want your team to win, right? But if you are supposed to be a player, now if it was a Joe Thornton, and again, not to, take stabs at him, but like he wants to be on a team that's going to win. Okay, well, guess what? He's not like a top dog. He's going to help tremendously, but he is not like the name of a team, right?
Right.
So yeah, go ahead. You're going to sign a couple $1 million here and there for a year or whatever, maybe even not $1 million, but you're going to be a little stepping stone to help a team. But when you are a name that is expecting to get $5, $6, $7, $8+ million a year,
you're supposed to be the one that brings the wins.
You're supposed to be the locker room. You're supposed to be that motivation. You're supposed to be on the ice presence. You're supposed to be in the town getting, rallying everybody behind you.
Maybe it was a translation issue with him.
Maybe. I mean, don't get me wrong. Maybe it is. But I'm just saying. I'm just so.
It's bad. I get it. We don't want the NHL to turn into the NBA, where you've got people like LeBron jumping ship and the league becoming this like roulette game of jumping from team to team to try to just win a championship. And then you end up with these super teams. Like, I don't really think that could ever happen in the NHL with the way the salary, having a salary cap and having the way that it is. I mean, a lot of people don't like it, but I think it keeps the playing field even, and it keeps the top teams and the winning teams. It gives everybody a much more of a fair shake, in my opinion.
Well, I mean, even if you look at it now, I mean, in my opinion, there are super teams in the league. And I would say Tampa was one of them. Obviously, they won 2 in a row. Boston is getting stacked up. And I always feel like
we're a super team, but they didn't deliver. So it's kind of like...
And the Knights, they were a super team. Now, just because you, Elias Peterson, want to go to a team that's going to win, are you going to go to a Vegas? Because they, on paper, should be winning, but they haven't been. I mean, they win games, right? But they haven't won a championship. You want to win a championship. That's what I'm getting out of it. But also, if he wants to win, the Canucks have a hard time winning games. So maybe he just wants to win more games. Then, I guess you should go to another team. But you are also supposed to be winning games for your team because you are the team main guy.
Preach, Breezy. I feel like you need to get on the phone with him and be like, listen, we need to have a talk.
And it's not just him. I mean, there's other players. No, I know. There's other players, but that was just one where I was like, you know what? I just got me. And also, I'm going to switch it to another player right now.
Go ahead.
There's rumors about, Jack Eichel getting really mad, really upset, and really pushing the Sabres, right? And then on the flip side, because there's 2 sides to every story, the Sabres are now getting mad at Jack. And they're like, well, we're not going to do anything because we're not ready to make these moves because nothing is lining up. So someone's going to have to budge here. But it almost seems like this game of cat and mouse where, like, Jack wants out. He's being demanding. He's not going to do this. He's not going to do that. He's planning on, his bags are packed. He's already on a plane to go out, but he just can't do it yet. And the Sabres are like, well, go ahead, pack your bags. But, we're not going to budge until something comes up. Now, if they're not budging, there's been no news. There was like a lot of chatter, but there's been no news. We know Jack needs to get, surgery. He needs to that. Do you think, now this is just a question for you and just maybe saying this out loud, are they potentially, and they, as in the Sabres, potentially doing this to ensure Jack can't play next season because he does need surgery? Now you're getting in, he's going to miss a part of the season, but if he was healthy enough and he isn't moved, if he was healthy to play, would he suit up and play if he wasn't moved by the time of the start of the season? Is he not playing? Are they sabotaging him? Did something happen where they're like, well, screw this guy. We don't want him playing, so we're just going to do this. We know he's not going to suit up as a Sabre ever again. We don't know where we're not getting what we need out of, the move, like moving him. What do you think is going on? Because I'm like torn. I'm thinking maybe this is some sort of sabotage. Maybe he did someone dirty. Maybe he's doing something or maybe the Sabres are just doing him dirty. I don't know. I'm just so up in arms about this one.
Based on what I know from talking to fellow Sabres fans, I'm going to go out on a limb and guess it has something to do with the Pagulas, the owners of the Sabres. Yeah. They made Jack Eichel their man. Jack's their guy. And if they're not going to get another name or somebody Jack was like all for playing in Buffalo and was like, Buffalo's great. I love it here in the beginning, wasn't he? Like he was all hoorah about the Sabres. And now he's tired of it and still wants to play. He wants to play good hockey. How about that? He doesn't want to win. He wants to play good hockey because they have not played good hockey in the last 2 years. They had that like brief little run maybe 3 years ago of wins. And if he's injured, I mean, if I was him, I would just take all the time, take the season off, fully recover, get all the surgeries, do all the off ice rehab, be in incredible conditions so that next year maybe there will be better trades on the market and get out. I don't know what his contract is, so I don't know what his options
even at
are.
That, even at that, going back to, the Elias Peterson thing, if he wants to play good hockey and he wants to win, he is that stepping stone. He is that main guy that should be doing that. So if he has some sort of grudge towards ownership or something, they need to really hash it out and figure that out. Because if they're not going to, ship him out somewhere because he is injured, he's got some contracts going on that he needs to try to figure out. I mean, it's the same thing. Jack wants, his cake and to eat it too. He wants to win and he wants to get paid. Where's he going to go?
Right. That's the thing. And with his history of injuries, that's a risk and a price tag that not every team it's got to be the right fit for the right team. And if there's a place he wants to go, but they're not offering something good in return to the Sabres or Jack, then you're stuck. And that's why it's so important when these players sign these contracts. And like, you kind of got to live in you got to, you make your bed and lie in it or whatever it is. And I get it, what you're saying. I think Buffalo also, I feel like the Sabres really haven't. Ringo! Sorry, he just got back from the dog park. He came bouncing in looking for mom. He just got a haircut. He looks really cute. So I think that when the organization doesn't supply him with other players, though, like it was just Jack. And you can't have just Jack. You can't have just Elias Peterson. I mean, I think the Canucks have a much better group of bodies around him. And I think there's more to support him. But it's a team sport. You can't just have Jack Eichel. You can't just have Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl. You can't. You don't win. It's not enough. Like you've got to have all the magic. So I think it's a combination of that with Buffalo. Like they didn't do anything to support him.
No.
Who did they have? They had one guy. Oh, Taylor Hall, for like a hot fucking second, only so Taylor Hall could get his way to Boston. It's the only reason why he went to Buffalo.
Yeah, and it's part of this things where it's
thing. I mean, like that's what Taylor Hall did. He had to go to Buffalo in order to get into Boston because it's like there's all these other deals being made behind the scenes. Like, so Arizona's not going to send him to Boston. So he's got to go somewhere else in order to get something for someone else. There's all this other behind the scenes stuff. So, but I agree with your point. I mean,
the Sabres haven't really even done anything to get more players to come in. And so the only place I could potentially see Jack fitting in a good way, and this was just my mind working, I think he would do really well on the Sharks. But again, the Sharks are rebuilding. Yeah. So, and they
just like the Blackhawks are rebuilding, and now we've got Seth Jones and Marc-Andre Fleury. So fuck. None of these people make any sense.
Oh my God.
None of these people make sense. It's like whatever's best at the moment. If there's a good deal on the table and they can make it happen, they're going to do it,
Yeah. Well,
that's what I got on
I'm just really in my own head on these certain things. And
no, I hear you. I hear you. I agree with you.
Yeah.
And we just don't want this turning into the NBA.
Exactly. But the NBA, I'm sure, doesn't have this weird history fact about it.
Hit us with the facts, Breezy.
You know what? I just think it was really cool to spit a fact at you last week. And I think I'm just gonna maybe spit some facts for the next few weeks and see how our viewers like them and see how you like them. So I think I might want to I was going to say, I guess I could ask you what you think this would happen, but I'm just going to spit this at you, okay?
Okay.
So, legend has it, I'm scrolling down here. When hockey was first played in its early days, they used a frozen patty of blank as a puck. Now, what do you think that frozen patty was?
Venison?
No.
Buffalo?
No.
Cow?
Kind of. They used a frozen patty of cow poop as a
my
puck.
God. Really?
That's what they say. I mean, I wasn't, alive at the time that this was happening, but that's what it says. Fun fact, everybody, I was not. But they say, as a legend has it, when hockey was played in its early days, a frozen patty of cow poop was used as a hockey puck.
It's very practical. I'm sure there was a lot around. Durable,
that is a huge
solid.
Puck. That is a huge puck. That's basically the size of a basketball. Let's be real.
That's a big puck. Yeah. I wonder if they would like chisel it and make it. How did it end up getting into the saucer size it is now? That's a good question. Is that why you think they still freeze the pucks? To keep with tradition?
Hey, they could. I do know that they freeze the puck to prevent it from getting too bouncy, like bouncing around. I mean, it does bounce, but get a little too bouncy. But I mean, maybe that's where they're like, well, if we keep them frozen, they don't move a whole lot. Just like the cow poop didn't move. Could you imagine taking a slap shot and it's just going?
That's exactly what I thought. That was exactly what I saw in my mind. It was just like poop flying into just tiny little shards all over.
And then what if like a tiny piece like made it into the back of the net? Does this still count as a goal?
Yes. Or in your mouth. I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Don't want that kind of puck to the face. That's for sure.
No, that's for sure. Although it wouldn't do as much damage, maybe mentally and emotionally, but not cosmetically at least.
Oh, gross. Like here's a pile of shit in your face. Like, Lord, no. What a visual. You're welcome, everybody. You're welcome.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome.
That was a good fun fact. I like this.
You like it?
Yeah, I liked you making me guess. This is fun because everybody else listening is guessing along with me.
Yeah, well, there we go. Well, stay tuned for next week when we have another one coming at you hot. Just not as hot as a steaming pile of cow poop.
Thanks for coming over to our House of Hockey podcast and hanging out with us. We'll be back next week with a brand new episode. And in the meantime, you can follow us on social media. Just look for House of Hockey podcast. We'll be back next week.